All right, we're back again, volume 2, People's Perspective. Again, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself.
Yo, what's up, people? Kane here, Kane05. We're in Bali. We're in a studio, Sunny Mantra Studios. We're kicking some shit, you know what I'm saying? I can swear, yeah.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
do what you want, do what you want.
Bless.
So again, just like the last edition, I guess, this is edition 2, just to get perspective, just to talk, have a conversation, sort of go from there. Same again, met in Soma, but we actually met in Soma, what month was it? Was it February, right?
Yeah, maybe Feb last
I
year.
think February last year when I was first here. Obviously got talking here and there, and then met again when I came back out in, well, I got back out in September, and I think you came maybe
Yeah,
a bit
November.
later. Yeah, November. Got speaking again there, obviously since then now started this. And yeah, just gonna talk. So I guess first question that just comes to mind, why are you here in Bali?
Why am I here in Bali? Boom! Well, the reason I'm here this time is because my girl's building villas in Uluwatu. So we kind of come for that, but we also come to escape the cold from England, bro, because it was blitz, bro. It was like minus, fam. On top of that, we've been here like 3 or 4 times, so it's just a nice place to escape. So
Well-
a couple reasons woven into each other, you know.
So what's good about it in terms of the escapism aspect of it?
But I feel like Bali is fairly cheap, so you can get a lot of your time back either when it comes to just like washing clothes, like eating out. Do you know what I'm saying? You can live well for relatively cheap, you know, compared to the UK anyway and other places. And even whenever I get off the plane here, I just feel like there's a weight off my shoulder. I feel like the energy here is just mad chill. Like island life in general, I feel like you just feel different, which is good and bad in my opinion. You know?
What's the bad?
The bad is it's hard to get into that hustle mentality for myself anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think that you prefer the hustle mentality?
I think it has its place. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think sometimes you got to get in that mode. Like when you're in England, you can go outside and it's dark and it's grey and dull and it's cold. Sometimes you're like, bro, I need to escape. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get the money. Like, whereas here, yeah, I wake up and the sun's shining up. It's another day. Let's go. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I get you.
go train and then I'm like, cool, let me get a coconut and just bake off, bro. Like, life isn't too bad, you know?
Life ain't as bad as you maybe thought when you're in.
Bro, exactly.
So in terms of that, right now you're, like you said, you come out quite often.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
And you're still working, right? So what is it, like work-wise, like how are you able to even come out here for extended periods of times?
So I do mixes on my laptop. So I do mixes for people. They send me their song and I mix their song, so engineering. And then just before I come out here, I was just working for Every, bro. Just literally 6 days a week. And I saved just a nice amount of money. And then obviously me and my girl just go house for bits. And then, yeah, she works remote, so
Mate, that's
easy for her.
Yeah, a little harder for you. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. But it swings and roundabouts, you know. Like, we're still building, just working, can't complain.
You think that you would live in Bali?
Good question. Not like for the whole year. I could do like 6 months here, 6 months away, I think.
6 months away?
Yeah, like in London or like London for the summer. I'll do London like from what? Maybe March till like November. How many is that? April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay, that's 8 months. That's a bit. Maybe I could go a bit May then. May till like November. Do you know what I'm saying? I could do that when it's nice there. Because I feel like London when it's sunny or England when it's sunny is actually nice.
You like it?
Do you know? Yeah, people are a bit more nicer, you know? They're not as grim. But yeah, in the winter time, it's dark, bro. It's dark. What about yourself?
Nah, man, I'll be honest, like, I don't think I can do it anymore.
Why?
So I'll be honest, when I spent my first, I'd say, winter away, where I wasn't in a cool country in Egypt. When I was in Egypt, that summer, and speaking to obviously some people there, I just went, yeah, no, that winter. I mean, obviously it wasn't. It was a little bit cold, but nothing in comparison to the UK.
Yeah,
It was still a little bit chilly, but it was like it was still cutting around my tops off during the day. It was still sunny. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it
so
was
it's calm.
still baking. However, just that being there and experiencing that, and then thinking like, do I really need to be in the UK for winter? So that was sort of my goal, and I was like, okay, maybe, possibly not like the year coming up, but the year after that, I was like, alright, this. So we've just finished winter. I was like, next winter is the last winter I want to spend in the UK type thing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just like I worked towards that, and I actually managed to sort of do that. Like obviously I was still in the UK for a little bit of winter, but then came out here during that winter time there. So hit that goal thankfully, and
Yes.
yeah, for me, it's not just the cold. I think it's sort of the same as what you said. Like it's the whole idea of when you're there, you just want to get out.
Yeah.
You just want to get out. You genuinely do. You just want to get out, and once you're out, it's like what's the point in going back? Because when you go back, like okay, yeah, you can get back in a hustle mentality, like you said, like, and I think that's good to do. Go back to reality for like once in a while. However, as soon as you get back there, like you're just genuinely counting the days until you leave there again.
Yeah,
So
which
for
is
me,
very
it's
true.
just I couldn't do. I don't know if I could do 6 months anymore, especially if I don't have to. Sorry, yeah. Especially if I don't have to, then I don't think I would do a 6 month stint. Maybe 2, 3 months, 4 months or something. Nothing too crazy. Maybe if I had to lock in or something. But again, like there's other countries there are other countries in Europe that I could head to that are like, maybe a little
100%.
bit warmer,
More
maybe a little
city-based.
bit more expensive than here, but would keep me in a sort of stricter routine. Because here, it's easy to get into a routine, I'd say.
100%, I agree.
However, at the same time, it's easy to get out.
Yeah, bro. There's everything.
It's so easy to get out of a routine. And talking about routines, what would you say your routine has been like when you've been out here, like in comparison to the UK?
Oh man, what's my routine been like here? I feel like, you know what, in the UK I can get a decent routine, but it takes me a while to get into it. And I have to use all my willpower, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Why do
Like,
you think that is?
because sometimes you wake up and it's grey and it's cold. So when you throw that bed sheet off you and you feel a cold breeze, it's not the same, bro. Whereas if I'm looking out the window and I see sun in the morning, I'm like, yo, I'm up. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get
Like, so yeah, that definitely makes a big difference. But yeah, what did you say? My routine here has been, I try to go gym in the morning, get that out the way, whether it's Soma to do a class or go to the gym, do some Cali stuff, pull-ups, whatever, so on and so forth. After that, maybe go get some breakfast or get a coffee. Then I'd just make some music, make a beat or something, then probably eat some lunch. And what would I do after that? I feel like all my days are a blur, bro. After that, I kind of just clock out. Actually, tell a lie, since I've been here, I've been meditating every morning. That would be the first thing I do. Then I'll go to my class.
Right.
Then I get my coffee. That's the one thing I do like here. I feel like it's easy to get into like my more, I'm gonna say spiritual or whatever, like them kind of practices. Do you know what I'm saying? Like at the start of when I first got here, I was reading a lot.
Okay.
I did stop doing that, but but I still get to our meditation. You know, I feel like that's been good. But
So actually with the routine thing, the reason I was asking, and I'm going to go into like what you just mentioned and meditation and spirituality, but in terms of the routine thing, do you think if you were to stay here like long term that you would be able to stay in that routine, or like what's your thought on even people that are here long term? Would you say that that's sort of like you look at people and think, oh, this is actually feasible?
yeah, I think when you are hit so the last time I come was the first time I come for like a long stint.
Okay.
So last time I was here for 3 months. And because I was here for 3 months, which was, again, that was good and bad because I just fell in a routine of just doing Muay Thai like twice a day, maybe 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So my whole life was just training, and I don't want to be a fighter, so it doesn't really make sense. Do you know what I'm saying? In hindsight, but it was fun. I was enjoying it. It was an experience. Like, it was super cool. So I feel like being here for a long time, 2 things, it's easier to get into a routine because you know you are here, so you don't have to feel like you have to do everything in a short space of time.
Yeah.
And especially if you was living here, like, I feel now, going back and forth, but now when I come, I'm like, cool. Because I've done that before, I've like worked out that I don't want to be a fighter. I do enjoy training, so it's like, okay, you do that 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then with your other time, you work on what you actually want to work on, like your goals. So for me, it's my music. So I'd put other time into music and use all my free time on that rather than just letting Bali take me where it wants to take me, you know?
And do you think that so the reason I'm asking, do you think that people get sort of lost and just sort of going wherever Bali sort of pulls them into?
Not just Bali, I think in general, like if you don't put your own ideas in your head, someone else will put them in your head. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So wherever you go, like you can get pulled into something. Like that's just if you're not focused or you don't have a goal. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's even good to do that because then you might find what you want to do. Do you know what I'm saying? But if you have something which you do want to do, then it's just like, now remember that is the focus, you know? Because wherever you go, there's always going to be pools of whatever, whether it's women, drugs, whatever, like, it's endless, bro.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of distractions for sure. That was a big thing for me, I'd say. Like, it's just, it's good, it's nice for a while, but
100%.
I think it's like, I would just not want to get to a point where I'm just living in La La Land, like, completely.
Yeah, and you disconnect,
Like, just disconnect from reality, because it's just, I think that's when problems start
100%.
arising. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's just the way I've sort of seen it with people. Anyway, like you said, it's very easy to just wake up and be like, yeah, life's good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, 100%, and you know where you want to be, but you're just like content. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Some people are happy working in Sainsbury's back home, like 9 to 5 every day, and I say, bro, if you're genuinely happy from doing that, then that's amazing. Mm-hmm. Like genuinely, because bro, if you're happy and your heart's filled with joy, how can someone else take that from you? But if you're not happy, then you kind of want to change your situation. So if you're just in Bali and you're, I don't know, maybe you're working an online job and you're getting like 30K a year, and you're like, I can do this for the rest of my life because here I can live an okay life. Why don't you take it that little bit further, you know?
So talking about that, in terms of your goals, what are your goals?
Wow, my goals. Yeah. My goals and dreams is to be a touring music artist, man.
Touring music artist. And how would you say in terms of just now, like you're building towards that?
Right now, to be fair, I recorded a video earlier and I actually said this. Me as a person is like quite loose in a sense of like, I don't like planning. I'm a go with the flow person. Mm-hmm. But like I say, from the last time I was here, I was just doing Muay Thai. I had like 3 months and I'm just doing Muay Thai 3 times a week. So that it wasn't time wasted because it's a skill, do you know what I'm saying? I see like training things like that as a life skill, and it definitely helped me mentally. But it's like, I could have put more time into my music towards the main goal, you know?
Right.
So for that, how do I see it? Boom, 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 boom. I feel like I'm going in the right direction. There's just a lot of groundwork that I need to do, and it's consistency. More than anything, for me, it's consistency. I'll have a 6 start, and then I'll get a bit lazy, or it won't be going my way. So I was like, okay, a week. I'll come back to that. Okay, 2 weeks. Oh, fuck, yeah. 3 weeks, okay, yeah, I let that go. And then I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm back into it. But them like little breaks, it fucks up your momentum.
Definitely.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's better, even if you're going to do an hour a day, that's better than just 1 8-hour session a week. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? It slowly builds up. So for me, my focus is consistency right now, putting myself out there. So from Instagram videos, shit like this, like I want to do my own YouTube shit. And just like showing the journey, and then along with that, meeting new people, connecting with people. Because for me, I do want to tour around the world. Like the internet is the best thing for that. Do you know what I'm saying? 100%. It can connect you with someone in Korea, and then someone in Korea likes you, they've got a following. Okay, let's link up, let's do this, da 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 da. And it's just keep working on that, and just make great music along the way, tell your story along the way, blah blah blah. But yeah, right now I'm still at the lower part of the pyramid for sure. But I don't mind that. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm actually quite happy with that, because then I'm in a space where I'm allowed to make loads of mistakes, and I'm not gonna get penalized for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like once you get to a certain level, you can't really make no mistake. Like Central C now, he can't really make no mistakes because everyone's gonna talk about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
So would you say in terms of your content creation, that's one driving factor for you at the moment?
100%. 100%.
That's something you're really trying to get into then?
Yeah, big time.
And go on.
Just try to tie it into my music as well. That's again, all of this is for the music, but it's like trying to find myself and my own lane from creating videos and stuff like that. So yeah, sometimes it's using your personality, but it's like, how can I blend that with the music? Like how can I showcase my life maybe, but then add a soundtrack to that? Right. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's all like, you just gotta try shit. It's things that they either look a lot better in your head or a lot worse in your head. Do you know what I'm saying? But when you're trying it, it's just like, you're just adding to that every day, piece by piece, brick by brick, you know? Before I've spent a lot of time thinking about shit, but not doing it. Now I'm doing it, so it's like, okay, that works, that don't work, that works, that don't work.
Whereas when you were spending the time thinking about it, almost you're like, because you're thinking about it that much, you're almost feeling like you're doing something.
100%, bro.
As soon as you start doing it, then you realise, damn, I could have been so much further ahead if I had just done something and then thought about it, rather than thinking about it without actually doing something, which is, I think that's a recurring theme with a lot of people, even when it comes down to reading books and things like that. So, I was just interested in terms of like even what was the reason that you just went, you know what, I want to just get on social media, I want to just be posting as much as I can, I want to just be, like get exposure in that sense.
Just because that's the place where people are, bro. Like, as sad as it is, if even like 2023, I was like going to bare music seminars and like people talking about the business, A&Rs, all of these people were there. And the only thing they talk about, you need to get on TikTok, you need to get on TikTok. Bro, they don't even talk about the music, bro, which is sad. Do you know what I'm saying? To be real, but that's where, like back in the day, well, when we was a lot younger, maybe the only place you'd find music is like MTV Base, Kiss, all this other shit, and the radio. Do you know what I'm saying? Now people are finding music, it's what? Spotify, Apple Music, and then TikTok, bro, or Instagram, fam. That's how you're finding your shit for everything.
Everything.
If you want to go to a new restaurant, where am I going to look? TikTok, bro.
But do you not think that's a good thing, though? Because it gives access to more people to be able to actually
100%. Yeah, it's definitely not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. But for me, I feel like I didn't want to be, like, part of me is like, holding my phone up, filming myself, it's a bit cringy. Do you know what I'm saying? But yo, would I rather hold my phone up and speak to a camera or work in a restaurant? I'd rather be the cringy guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you can get paid on your phone, shit like that. Like.
But even at that, eventually you would have had to probably hold up the camera or be on camera if you went the other path of just going through music, just strictly music, and growing yourself through there. Do you not think eventually you'd have to do that anyway? So
100%.
Why not just, like, I don't know, even fast track yourself and get to that place first and then showcase your music, and then you've actually got people to sort of showcase it too. So I think, like I said, it gives access to a lot more people to actually be able to showcase their talents and things like that, and finding things, like you said, rather than having to like almost slug it out with music labels.
Yeah,
and things,
just that alone. Like, I agree, 100%.
I think it just adds a brilliant dynamic to it, being able to, like you said, connect with everybody. Like, when have you ever been able to really connect with everyone on that level? Like that's
it's crazy. It's almost like, I feel like we shouldn't be allowed to do that. Like, our brains are not designed to be able to, like, you can literally go on Instagram and message a woman from Brazil. Do you know what I'm saying? Or like,
I guess it definitely
shit like that. Like,
it definitely messes with perception.
Oh, bro, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, definitely mess with perception. But in terms of our brains being able to handle it, I think it's maybe probably taking our brains to a next level of yeah, even evolution or whatever it may be,
Mm.
a next level of consciousness, if you want to say that, because now you are getting exposed to so many different perspectives
Bro,
all at
so
once.
many, bro.
And of course, as long as you're not letting it maybe negatively affect you, or as long as that perspective that you're taking in, like you can take it in a good way and maybe apply it in a good way or whatever it actually benefits you, then I think it's good. But I guess there's a lot of times when some people do find it difficult to actually be able to see out what thoughts or what perspectives or what ideas are actually benefiting me versus what ones aren't benefiting me.
Yeah,
So I guess
yeah.
that's the downside of it. But I think altogether, I think it's a net positive thing.
100%. I
For
feel
sure.
like it's a mirror. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it will show you what you look for. So if you don't
Yeah.
like your feed, then bro, you're putting time into that feed equally. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're on some heavy, whether it's conscious shit, what's that girl that we went to the thingy with to eat food, and she was saying her feed is just food. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's what she likes. That's literally a reflection of her. So your social media is a reflection of you, like it or not. If I go on my YouTube, it's gonna be bare beats. It's gonna be like vlogs from random people, like Rasta
Yeah.
man talking business. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's
And then,
like a
like
feedback loop
stuff
of
like
just
that.
you.
Like
Yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly. It's a feedback loop of you. And would you say that, like, let's even tie this into, I was going to tie it into it anyway, but spirituality and like you were saying, you were reading books, etc. So that feedback loop of social media, would you say that is essentially the same as even in reality?
what did I say? Yeah.
So in terms of down to maybe even the people that you meet, the people you come across, the conversations you're having, the experiences you're having, would you say that's a direct reflection of who you actually are?
Wow, that's a deep question. Yeah, yes and no. Is it even a no though? Because I
Let's
feel
just
like
start with a no. Why is it no? Or in fact, you
well
said it's a
maybe
no though. Start
I
with
say
yes.
that no, I say that, yeah, but maybe that's just me being scared because sometimes you meet people and it's like, yo, you're weird, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? Well, you must have, even yesterday when I went out, like there was this weird energy that of this woman, bro. She was just acting strange, bro. So it's like, why am I meeting you? Like, why are you around? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and then that, like, no disrespect. So then if I'm saying yes to it, then that's also true. So maybe that's a part of me that I'm saying, yo, you're weird. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
So
maybe you're weird
yeah,
to be
I'm
around.
not exactly going to try to extrapolate what that could have meant or whatever, but yeah, I'd say me anyway. Like, especially what I've realised, I'd say more recently, but I had a sort of notion of before was like literally like yeah, just watching people and watching myself and being observant of, which I'd say came from travel as well, and not being someone who initially always like speaks up or talks, or but when I do speak up and do talk, like you're gonna know about it. But
Yeah.
usually like even when I went to Egypt and things, I was just sort of kept myself to myself to begin with, and just sort of observed and just seeing how people were acting and reacting to things, and realised, well, like it's almost like you're arguing with someone, not realising you're actually being the exact same as them in that situation,
Yeah.
and then it's just a battle of who's worse, and it's like, well, actually, these are as bad as each other, and you are now in a situation that you don't want to be in purely just because of your own doing. To be honest, like it's all because of your own doing. And when I'm talking about just generally, not even just on those trips, but I think being on certain trips and just observing people, the way they move, the way they act, even on minuscule things that made me realise these things. And then, yeah, recently I just started realising them more and more, and also just even trialing, like, when my first reaction reaction to something is maybe negative, or thinking that it's gonna like completely mess things up or something, and just having that negative attitude, I just like, yeah, it's whatever, it's nothing type thing. Because even let me make an example. I was driving, and funnily enough, it's gonna be a big example, but I was driving on the bike, just left the washing, and there was like a van backing out of like a side street, and I was going to go in that side street, so I went to go, and then some other guy on another bike was waving him on, and then it smacked into me, like reversed into me. It wasn't bad or nothing, but reversed into me, and I went, and then I was like, oh my goodness, like I was like, what the heck, and looking at the bike, and then I caught myself. I was like me getting annoyed or
Yeah, it's
like,
not
it's
gonna
not
do
gonna
nothing
change
for you.
nothing
Yeah.
at all. And
It's
the
gonna
funny
take
thing
you to a
was,
place you don't want to be.
exactly, I'm just going to be annoyed for no reason now, and I just sort of smiled and laughed it off. But what that reminded me of was something that I was listening to before in terms of like people on bikes. I think when they crash, like I can't remember exactly what it is. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But when they crash, like whatever they're focused on tends to be what they hit. And I realised afterwards, I was looking at the van the entire time I was like moving. So it was like, of course it was going to hit me. It was actually my fault because I was so focused on the van and making sure that I'm not hitting the van I don't want to hit, that I hit the van hit me and I hit the van. Whereas I could have just focused on something else, drove towards it, and the van probably wouldn't have even touched me, do you know what I mean? But because I was that focused on it, I almost brought it to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. Even in terms of a feedback loop from IG, you brought it to yourself because of the things you were reacting to, and I'd say you probably can extrapolate that to real life. Like certain situations happen because of you. Like if you're ending up in an argument with someone, it's because you wanted to be in an argument with them.
Yeah. Like it or not, or consciously or unconsciously. Do you know what I'm saying?
An argument with them, like genuinely speaking, and when you get to a point where you just don't argue, then you realise that you end up not having half as many arguments, do you know what I mean? Because you're just like, well, there's no point in arguing. This is what I want. Arguing isn't going to get me there. Or maybe it will, but it's going to be long-winded and I can't be bothered arguing.
It's not worth it, yeah.
How else can I get there? It makes you really have to stop and think. And that's what I was just asking. Like, do you think the feedback loop from IG is sort of mirroring even reality? And then talking about spirituality and things and the books you were reading, like what sort of books were you reading and what brought you into, let's say, spirituality? Because I'm just going to assume that you didn't grow up that way.
So the books that I was reading is Psycho-Cybernetics. That's a good book.
I heard about that today, actually, probably the first time.
That's a good book. And I've got another book called The Master Key by, I think it's L.W. Lawrence. The Master Key, I'm like halfway through. It's a good book, but it's one of them complex ones, so I'll read like 3 or 4 pages and have to digest it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Psycho-Cybernetics, kind of similar, but I was doing like 10 to 15 pages a day with that. And then, I just kind of fell out of routine with it. Psycho-Cybernetics what is it about? Almost like how your thoughts, almost like a robot, do you know what I'm saying? They're programmed to be a certain way. Like, how can I explain it? It's kind of like systems, like your mind is going to work a certain way. So it's kind of like, gives you tools or whatever how to better that.
Right, okay.
Whether that could be like an affirmation or something like that, and just trying to rewire your brain just to help you with what you want to do. So it's like for example, like the internal voice in your head, if it's negative, try and change the negative to positive. Obviously it takes time, but by changing you saying, oh, I can't do this, rather than to, oh, let me try this, or how can I do this? Do you know what I'm saying? We'll have a big difference.
Rather than just closing the door,
exactly.
Still leaving it open to be explored, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. Even like, I was listening to that audio book that you sent me when I was on a bike today, driving back from Ulu. And that totally saying something similar. Do you know what I'm saying? The laws. Like your mind, like if you want to change your life, you have to change the way you think.
Yeah.
Like that's where it starts. And then once you start thinking different, that will take you into a whole new space, you know? But how did I get into this? How did I get into more of the conscious stuff? Probably from my dad,
also,
to be
was
fair.
from young?
I wouldn't say from young, because when I was younger, my dad used to tell me to read this, read that. Like even like Black History, I used to say, "Yo, leave me alone, bro. I don't know."
That's usually how it goes, though.
Yeah, I don't want to read nothing, man. Yeah. All I want to do is play Call of Duty or GTA, bro, and just go outside. Like I don't want to read shit. So when did I start getting into it? Probably, wow. I couldn't even tell you, dude. Maybe like 21, 22. But it's something that I feel like it's been in me almost. But I've never really cared. Do you know what I'm saying? I can't remember when I bought like The Secret, which is obviously like what's it called? The Law of Attraction and all that shit. Like,
Right.
and then that was, I guess, like my first intro into it off my own back. But then even still reading it and knowing all these things, I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense. But I still don't fully put myself into it.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
What would you say stopping you from doing that then?
Just thinking that I can just do what I want and it will happen.
Yeah.
But I guess that's like convincing myself. But yeah, it doesn't work. You have to do the work. Unfortunately, you have to, like, there is no secret to life. You just have to do the work. Do you know what I'm saying? There's pretty simple rules. Follow them, and you'll be fine, bro. And then all these other things is just like meditation, for example. That's just like a tool to help you along the way.
Right. What would you say that helped you with?
Meditation? I would say like what we was talking about earlier. When you like, for me, meditation. A couple things actually. Now I think about it. Even if I meditate for half an hour and I get 1 to 10 seconds of complete silence or peace, like that is beautiful. Do you know what I'm saying? And it also kind of teaches you after a while that you are not your thoughts, because even when I'm sitting there just trying to focus on my breath, nothing else, like things are still coming into my head. Do you know what I'm saying? And that don't stop. So when you're not meditating and and you're going about your day, you're gonna have certain thoughts, and most of them are just pattern. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not, oh yeah, I'm coming up with an original thought like all 24 hours of the day. You know, a lot of them are just repeating patterns. Oh, why do I do this? Oh, why do I do that? Oh, why has that person done that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if that voice in your head is mostly negative, there's nothing wrong with that. It might not even be you. It might be like a sense of someone's been drilling that negativity into you from a child. So it's just naturally the way your brain reacts. But I think meditation gives you space to actually recognize that and think that you're not your thoughts. And then from that, you can begin to change your patterns and then, change your life, etc., 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 etc. What else? Yeah, mainly meditation, obviously the books, all the spiritual, the conscious stuff. I feel like all of that, all of it's great, but then I think one time my dad gave me a book, which I must have been like early 20s, because he gave me a book, I can't remember the name, but it's something that he said, like, take your time with this, and if you're not ready to read it, you don't have to read it. And I read it, and it was kind of like, whoa. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them ones where it's like, oh my God. I can't remember the name.
What was it sort of saying? What was it that sort of got you?
What did it say? It must have said something like how, and again, it's one of them things that I feel like, all these things I feel like we know, but it's just kind of bringing it to the surface of our mind. And it was like, basically, it was claiming, and I'll say claiming because everyone has their own religion, etc., so on and so forth. Like, heaven or hell isn't a real place. So when you die, whatever your projection of yourself is or how you feel like your life's being, whatever you're holding on to, that's where you're going to go. Right. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're a person who thinks you've done loads of bad, then you're going to go to hell, because that's where your mind's going to take you to. If you're a person that thinks you've done really good and you live a happy, positive life, that's where it's going to take you. And I had all like different things like that in, and that was just like, it was just a lot.
Well, what's your opinion on that?
Good question. What is my opinion? I'm not gonna lie, I agree with that.
Yeah?
I agree with that. All like karma and all these things that people claim, I don't get me wrong, I think it's real. Karma is a real thing, because again, law of attraction, what you attract, do you know what I'm saying? Like, but if some people are just like, some people can be brutal and not have a conscience, some people could genuinely go out there and kill someone and not have a conscience, not be thinking about it the next day, just let go of it. Mm-hmm. And if you can do that, then there will be no karma coming to you because you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah, I was literally gonna ask that question. I was gonna say like, well, what about them people that, because like that we would look at and perceive as, oh, this person's a bad person morally, this morally that, they're evil, this and that. Like with that book, that would say that those people, as long as their mind just tells them, well, at the end of the day, I can do whatever I want. I'm still gonna go here. What's really stopping them from just doing what they want, as long as they're able to let go of that?
100%.
And like, because it's like, even let me try and think of an example here, because I think it is, I do sort of have an idea and a notion that whatever you believe is true. So like when people are like, they believe in the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or Hinduism, Sikhism, like Greek gods and all these things, I just sort of like, yeah, I think they sort of all do exist, because that's what that person believes as existing, and I think that gives it enough power to exist. So then I always thought to myself, I was like, and you, I think you even have these conversations with yourself and others where it's like, you almost say, oh, they've got their thing coming because they've maybe done you wrong, or you've seen them do someone wrong. But at the end of the day, if someone's done something and they don't see it as wrong, and they don't feel like anything's going to come of it, then nothing will probably come of it.
Yeah, 100%.
And even if it did, because they're not thinking about that, they won't go, oh, it's because I did this or because I did that. Whereas I think a lot of people get stuck in a mind of just that thought process of, oh, if I do this, this is going to happen, and then it happens, and then they just, like something happens and they attribute it to that, and then they actually believe that shit. Whereas I've literally seen people that you would look at and be like, yeah, they've got karma coming for them. It's like, I genuinely don't think they do. Like, I think they're chilling. I think they live in such a different plane of existence of La La Land that they literally just live in their own heaven, where they can just do what they want when they want. There's no repercussions.
And get away with it.
And not even get away with it. There's just no repercussions for it, because they, like, what would the repercussion be if you don't think there's a repercussion? Like, if you, I'm really trying to think of an example here that would actually make sense of it. Like, if you think, because when you're young, you're like a little rascal in it, and you're doing all this dumb nonsense. And if you think there's no repercussion to it, and you do it, and then there is no repercussion to it, it's like, you just continue doing that.
Yeah, keep doing it. Yeah, until you get told, no, don't do that.
Until you get told, no, don't do that. But even then, if you get told, no, don't do that,
might try
so
again.
many times, you'll probably just keep doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, until something happens. Do you know what I'm saying?
Until something happens, and if nothing happens, it's like, well,
do it
nothing's
again.
happened.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm really struggling to think of an example. I don't know why. Usually I'm good at thinking of examples, but it's like, yeah, I've seen even, and I've had those conversations with people where it's like, they'll say, oh, well, the way they've went about that is wrong, or this, and it's like, well, that's from your idea of wrong or right. They probably don't have that idea of wrong or right at all. So it's not even gonna affect them. Like, and the fact that it affects you, maybe you're just doing that because you want to feel somehow better than them, or maybe you're envious of them. So you think, oh well, like, it's like, I think most of the time it's something that you know you can do, but you feel like you shouldn't do, or you can't do because of some sort of, I don't know, moral reason. Whereas other people are doing the exact same thing. And yes, okay, you can have your own compass of morality. I'm not saying go out and start killing people, obviously, but when you're stopping yourself from doing things because you think something bad is going to come of it, it's like, why? Like, if you make money and maybe it's through the lottery, like, some people look at the lottery as bad. Like, even in Islam, it's not something that you indulge in or get. But say, for example, there was just a random postcode lottery and you make money, and then they're like, and in Islam that would be haram, like bad, you can't touch that money type thing. But it's also like, what's bad about it? Like, I understand the concept of, okay, maybe people lost in this thing, but that money's still going to go somewhere, so why not take that money and use it for something good, and turn it into something good, rather than saying, no, I can't touch this money, it needs to be burned or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's other things that I never understood, because I was like, well, okay, but what's going to happen with the money now? Like, what's going to happen with that now? Like, why would you think that you can't use that money to create some sort of good, positive, if that's what you want to do, impact on the world? Like, is that money now, when you use it to feed children, are those children going to die? Like, probably not, because you've just fed them. Like, so that's one thing that I was battling with as well, I'd say, when I was younger. Like, not the lottery aspect, but just certain people's thoughts of, oh, this is bad. I'm just always like, why is it bad? Like, what's actually so bad about it? And then people don't really have a real reason. And maybe if I think of an example of it, then I'll flip and say a better example. But yeah.
No, I think what you're saying makes sense.
Yeah,
like, all these things are just like, and I think that's even where the internet. That's also the bad thing about the internet, because there is so many different perspectives of so many different people. You can post something that you think is right, and then it easily gets twisted into something else. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't mean that. Look what happens. That happens to celebrities all the time. They'll say something. Oh, he's saying this about her and da 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 da. And it's like, oh my God.
Like, I wasn't even thinking about.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even think about that. And then they took it there. And then everyone else is running with it. So now everyone else thinks that, you know? Like,
yeah, it's long, innit?
Bro, it's dangerous, fam. Good and bad are the same thing, bro. It's just a perspective,
think so?
bro. 100%. It's just a perspective, bro. And whatever you're raised on. If you're raised to be a killer, fam, you're not gonna think killing people is bad.
Yeah, that's actually, so there you go.
You know what I'm
There's
saying?
another thing, like those people that are
Like, if you're an assassin and you're a raised assassin, like, and that's your
job,
lifestyle, bro.
Exactly.
Then you're not gonna think killing people is just work. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
so now, if that's work and that's your job to kill people, it's like, now let's say, for example, someone says, "Oh no, that's bad that you kill people." What if you kill people who are like
bad pedophiles,
like
etc.
Exactly,
Yeah,
things like that. And what if you were to kill those type of people? It's like, what does that? Are they now a good person or a bad person? That was another. So I think that's an example of something actually.
100%.
So
even like being a vegan or something like that is exactly the same thing. Do you know what I'm saying? My reason for like having a plant-based diet is because I couldn't kill a chicken and then cook that myself.
Right.
Like, I couldn't handle all the blood and the guts and like, that shit would creep me out, bro.
They can.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I feel like, yo, if you could kill the chicken yourself and eat it, then you like, fair play, eat the chicken, bro.
So the example that I think that I was maybe looking for was, so, and it's one that I actually used to make with my mum all the time. I would ask her, I'd be like, all right, well, because this was the whole good or bad thing, like, is there good, is there bad? And again, I just sort of look at it as, there's not, it's just depends on what you think. And that was, say for example, someone did something to your daughter, like some man did something to your daughter, or tried to do something to your daughter, or broke into your house and like, grabbing up your daughter or something, trying to do some madness, and then maybe even does a madness and ends up killing your daughter, and then you kill that man. Like, people can say two wrongs don't make a right in that, but would you say that like who's in the right? Like, is the person that, or maybe in fact, let's not go as far as they killed the daughter. Maybe could have killed the daughter, but then the only way that you felt that you could stop them was by killing them. And now you could say that killing is a bad act. However, would you say that you killing that person was a bad thing? Probably not. You would say, well, it was the only way that he was going to get off my daughter, or get off me. Even, let's just say it was you. Let's not even take it that far again. Let's just say it was you, and you killed that person, right? So you, in your mind, you are like, justified, attack me, and the court of law would even go ahead and say that, yeah, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had to protect yourself. However, you're saying that's good, and you've just killed this guy. What's his mum thinking, the dead person?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
they've now just lost someone that was dear to them. They're not going, yeah, you know what, that was good. So who's right? Like, was it good or was it bad? And that I think that's more the point I was trying to make. Like, who's right in that situation? You've killed someone out of protection of yourself or your mother or your daughter, but you've just killed someone's family, someone's dad, someone's son, and they look at you as bad and evil. Are you now evil just because they look at you as evil, or is that person's son evil just because you look at them as evil. Like, who's right in that situation? It's like one of those ones where I was literally rattling my brain. I was like, well, then it can't, like, they can't really be good or bad, can they? If, like, and in both situations they're bad, and in both situations they're good. Like, can it exist in the same thing? It must. It must just be good and bad. Everything must just be good and bad. Surely.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, surely
100%.
everything must be good and bad if, one person can look at a situation and say, damn, you're a murderer, you killed my child. And another person can look at a situation and say, he tried to murder my child, he protected himself, he had to kill him, type thing. Like, who's really right in that? I don't think there's an answer to that.
No,
Who's right?
I agree.
Because now it's like everybody's right or everybody's wrong. One of them ones.
Yeah, and
So,
you won't be able to change their mind on that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So imagine
it's your
trying to
child
change
and
someone's
something
mind
happen.
on that. Imagine someone coming to you and saying, well, you know, your child was this and that, and it's like, at the end of the day, whether they've done something or not, like, that person still loves their child and would probably prefer if their child was still alive.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really difficult to convince someone otherwise. Talking about that with your veganism and things that we were saying there, would you say that you would try and convince people about, like, spirituality and your way of thinking, or would you say that you would try and, your way of thinking and veganism and spirituality, is that something that you would maybe say to people, like, they should do? Or you think, like, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think spirituality is the way?
I wouldn't go as far as to say they should. I would recommend it to, so I'll say it like this. I would recommend it to everyone, but I'm not going to go around telling people you should do this, you should do that. Because like I said at the very start, when my dad was telling me to read books, that's my own dad. He's obviously, I know he loves me, I know he's going to guide me right, but I didn't want to do none of that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to want to do it. Bare people, when I say, oh yeah, I'm vegan, oh, how long you been vegan for? Like 8-9 years. Oh, how do you do it? How do you do it? Like, but they're just asking because it's like, it's a talking point and they're curious, but they don't necessarily want to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's no point in me, I could write you a whole handbook. Do you know what I'm saying? But if it's just going to go in one ear and out the other, like, there's no point. Do you know what I'm saying? So for things like that, I say, you have to try it and, like, learn yourself. Like, what do you like? Fair enough, not everyone can be vegan or feels like they can't be, you know. A lot of people who I talk to, I can't leave cheese, or I can't leave chocolate, or I can't leave, like, bro, at that point it's an addiction. If you want something that much, like, which is, again, it's fine, bro, like, there's nothing wrong with these things, but it's just like a mirror, like, look at yourself, you know. So yeah, it's a weird one. I would say to anyone, if anyone did want to try being vegan, I always say to everyone, try do 1 meal a week. Just 1 meal a week. You can look on YouTube, you can look on Instagram, TikTok, buy a cookbook, just cook 1 meal a week, or buy 1 meal a week out. And if you do that for a whole year, that's 52 different meals. You can be vegan if you want to. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, same for any kind of dietary thing. If you want to go pescatarian, if you want to go vegetarian, it doesn't have to be vegan. Like, I think all these things are there to definitely help us. I feel like you can, like, it totally depends where you want to be in life. Do you know what I'm saying? If you want to get into, like, a monk mode and you want to be your purest self, then, like, you'd have to fast. But that's not only fasting in food. That's fasting from social media. That's fasting from certain types of people. Do you know what I'm saying? It's all energy. So you have to keep that to yourself. So there's levels. Do you know what I'm saying? Even myself, I can't get that deep into it, bro. I can't, like we're just yamming a cookie, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
so let me ask you, do you think that it's necessary if you want to, like you were just saying, like, you think it's necessary to, like, fast and eat clean and exercise and all these things for you to be able to be, like, the best version of yourself?
Exercise. Exercise 100%. Exercise. Everyone needs to. Again, I shouldn't even say that. And
that's why I'm asking you, because I was going to say.
It's a different passion that comes out for that. But it's true. Again, I guess it's the same thing. But I feel like based on us as humans, I feel like you do need to do some kind of workout. And working out doesn't necessarily mean I need to go in the gym and pump weights. Like, even if you're going to walk outside for like an hour every day or something, like a little walk or something like that, that's still exercise. Like 100% I think you need to do that. It just gives you, for myself, and most people I know, they just feel happier. Do you know what I'm saying? It releases certain endorphins in your brain. Same as meditation. Like, it's literally scientifically proven to like help activate more parts of your brain. So there's certain things which will 100% aid you in your life. Like, scientifically proven. So it's recommended. But do you need to? No. There's rich people out there living a fucking great life. They've probably never done a push-up in their life. They might have never had a fast in their life. They might not even have touched spinach. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to do anything. Would I recommend it? Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So I was going to say, it's the same concept in my eyes of, like, if you had to say to someone, oh, this is the protocol of something they need to do, because you could argue that there's definitely specific things you may need to do. If, like, for example, when I'm cutting weight and things, trying to do it without a process, because I cut weight last week and I did it with a process, and it was like the smoothest, best weight cut I ever done. And it's like, however, at the same time, some people could just be like, nah, that's all fluff, you don't need a process, you just cut the weight, you just keep eating what you want, you just make sure you exercise and you do this. Or some people are like, oh, nah, I don't need to. And do you think that for them, that's also a real reality, if they don't actually need to do those things to achieve the same goal as you, because their mind tells them they don't have to?
Yeah, I think
say that's possible.
Yeah, I would say it's possible, but I'd say again, like, not everyone can do that, and we have to accept that we're all different. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I can't say everyone needs to be vegan, because some people might actually need to eat meat, bro. Like, it's in their nature, like, and that's the way they live. You know. But yeah, not everyone's the same, and some people are more powerful than others. So yeah, some people can, like, maybe see something in their mind and get it the next day, bro. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of...
Do you think that's achievable for everyone, though? To see something in your mind one day and get it? Get it? Not just get it.
In one day, you could... Is it possible for everyone? Yes. Is it likely? Fucking no way. Do you know what I'm saying? No way, bro. No way. Because I feel like it's a lot of belief, and you'd have to be a very clear vessel, I would assume.
Do you think, so talking about that, do you think naivety is better than conviction? Because the reason I ask is because you sort of went, like, how could I put it? You said, like, yeah, it's possible for everyone, but realistically, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you think someone that's naive will achieve it before someone that has a conviction?
Yeah, I feel like you have to, for certain things you want to do in life, you have to kind of fake it till you make it, in a sense. Even if it's to yourself, you have to act like you already got it. Like, that's just a part of it. You have to act like you already got it. You have to feel like you already got it, and just. And
how can you feel and act like you've already got something that you don't have?
You have to visualize it. Think about how you would feel if you did have it. You know, and that feeling of closing your eyes and feeling, oh yeah, this is a Lambo. Okay, I got to picture that. Okay, what would the steering wheel feel like? Okay, like leather. Okay, what would the gear stick look like? Okay, like certain shapes. Do you know what I'm saying? You can get so deep into it. When I take the first breath of fresh air in there, what's it gonna smell like? New leather. What kind of thing? Like, all these things will kind of. So even if you literally close your eyes and picture your mum, do you know what I'm saying? You can start to see her face after a while if you're drawing out the details, and then, oh, you might smile because you miss her, or do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to. It can be anyone, you know. And I would say that's how you get to a point. But it takes time. The first time you might try to do it, and you might not see nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? It might just be blank. You're trying to picture it, but I can't think about how it's gonna feel. Okay, so then go look at what it actually looks like. And then kind of rebuild on that, you know?
Yeah, I think that's sound advice, to be fair. I think that's really sound advice. I love the perspective of that. Because, yeah, I think I think what you're saying is true. I think it does depend on your mindset of are you able to just, like, so some people don't even need to think about it, they just do it.
Yeah, bro, and it's...
They're just at a point where they don't think about nothing, they just do it. And that's why I was saying in terms of naivety, because, again, like, there's, even in some of the work I do, like, I would look at certain people and people would also look at them and be like how have they managed to get here? And I've been guilty of that as well. I'm like, how has this person managed to get here? Like,
100%.
They're not, like,
they're not special.
They're not special.
Like,
they're a bit slow.
Yeah.
I'm sharper than them. How have they been able to get there? And I think it's genuinely just due to complete naivety that they think they can do it. They're just naive and ignorant to and, like, I guess people always say ignorance is bliss, but they're completely ignorant to any barriers, that the barriers don't even exist for them at all. The same way we were talking about before, where it's like, just like you believe in that, but someone else doesn't believe in that, so it doesn't exist for them. It's like you've already, like, let's say for starting a business or starting content creation, there's one guy who's like, oh, start content creation, cool, and just starts speaking to a camera like some fool, versus you're standing there thinking, all right, so, but if I start posting, there's this, it's cringe, oh, it's this, and but then what's my first video? Like, you're thinking about it too much and putting all these barriers in place that you now need to hurdle, whereas this
guy's just doing it.
He's just doing it because
doing
he's so naive.
He don't give a fuck about anything. Like,
so my question is, in terms of when you're trying to achieve things, would you say that you would plan things out first, or would you just say people should just go ahead and just do everything, just do?
I think
what's your perspective on that?
Depends on, like, what you're doing. Some things do need planning. Like, if you're gonna start a business, you can't just start a business straight away. That needs, do you know what I'm saying? You need to go through certain things. Otherwise, you're just gonna waste all your money potentially. You know. If it's something like more simple, if you wanted to just start making music, watch a couple tutorials and then just fucking try it. Like, try that shit. You're gonna be shit. Whatever you try first time, you're gonna be trash, bro. Like, and you gotta work through that. And that's the beauty of it, you know what I'm saying? Being bad at something. I think one of the reasons why I stuck music out, like, I used to dance before music, but I was an okay dancer. And then I started music, I was trash at the start. But I was like, it's something that I want to be great at. Now I've got through the shit stage where I feel like, okay, I'm actually good, but I'm not great. Do you know what I'm saying? So that gap in itself is a beautiful space to be. Like, you gotta work your way up. And if I didn't just start when I was shit and didn't think, oh, okay, yeah. Maybe at some of the points, I won't lie, I thought I was hard. And I look back and I'm like, yo, that's so dead, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Even the people around me like, yo, yeah, this is cool. So I don't know if they was lying or or how it went, you know? So yeah, if like I say, I feel like a business needs more thought, but you can also just start in a sense of, like, start planting the seeds. Okay, if you say, I want to start a business, what kind of business? And you can look at spaces, okay, where's the gaps in the market? If it's just for money anyway. If it's a passion, I'd say I can kind of give you different advice and say, yo, just go for it. That doesn't mean quit your job and just do that, no. Like,
but why not? Why not quit your job?
Even that depends. Okay, if you've got responsibility, if you've got a child or something, or you're paying for bills or you're paying for rent, like, it's too much of a big risk especially if you're in a nicely paying job. If you're in a nice house, you know, nicely paying job, yo, you should not just quit your job straight away. Nah, I think that's madness, bro. Like, especially when you're only just deciding. Like, it's better to do it in your spare time. Build. Do you know what I'm saying? Build piece by piece. So if you got 2 hours spare in your day, spend that 2 hours every day and build on something and just start it. If picking up your phone and doing content is the easiest example. If it's something like that, bro, start today. Like, after you get off this video, or pause the video and fucking just film a video and just try some shit. You might look at it and be like, oh, I actually sound like that, or oh, I look like that. Like, it's a punch in the face, you know, but that's the punch in the face you need. Like, yeah, just try shit, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how you're gonna make it out. That's how anyone made it out. Your favorite whatever, they was just trying shit, and then they slowly got better.
And then eventually, they eventually got there.
And yeah, and broke through, man.
Yeah, so like you said, positive ed, go do whatever it is that you're putting off doing, because yeah, once you do it, you'll probably even realise that, like you said, something's either better in your head than what it actually is, or worse in your head than what it actually is. So
100%.
you're not gonna know or find out until you at least give it a shot. Do you know what I mean? Like and the and the funny thing is, when, because I used to be an argumentative little rat, to be honest. I still am, and I can be. I'd say I argue very well, probably a bit too well probably a little bit too well for my own good sometimes, maybe, or maybe it is for my good, who knows. However, any little thing, like, for example, if people would say, oh, this is the fastest man on earth, or this is the best footballer on earth, or this is this and this is that, and I think it was a good mindset for me to have when I was younger, to be honest, which was, well, how do you know? What about, because I'd always just be like, well, how do you know that's the fastest? Like, what's about all those people that have never even tried running?
100%.
Like, there could be like better people that are quicker, better
100%.
people that are better at football, but you wouldn't know just because they don't have the same opportunities.
Exactly, and they don't want to put it out there.
They don't even want to try it or whatever it might be. Do you know what I mean? So I think that mindset gave me the idea of, well, I ain't gonna know until I do something, because I think the worst thing to hear, which sometimes people say anyway, and I'd probably say the same to people, but I've heard when I used to sprint, the coach said to, I don't think, he was like, just imagine you started sprinting when you were younger, like you'd be flying, and it's a compliment, but I think that's such a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, 100%.
And it wasn't as if it came from a backhanded place, but it was like, to me, I was just like, that must have been so gut-wrenching to hear, because you're just like, damn, you're basically telling me my potential is...
Yeah, it's crazy, but you ain't got it like that.
But I started too late, so now I'm finished. You know what I mean? Like, now it's the last, which I find mad. But yeah, I think about things like that all the time, and then think about, even in my life, where are the things and what are the things that I'm doing that I'm not just acting on, and I'm talking about. And I'm sure you're guilty of it too. Like, you even tell people to, like, how many people do you think before you started posting anything would you say you spoke to and said, oh, you should start content creation?
Bad people, bro. Bad people.
You weren't even doing it.
I wasn't.
And that's the same with me. Like, I was suggesting to, even at the gym, James Whitland, I'm sure his name is. I bumped into his brother at a gathering, and we were talking, and he was telling me that he wanted, like, to start YouTube, and I was putting off and things, and I went there, and I was like, yo, you need to start YouTube, you need to start, just do it, just, like, you may as well, what's the point,
Bro, the only thing you have to deal with is maybe people saying, oh, like, I see you post that video, oh, like, and even if they did that, who cares, bro?
Yeah, literally.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Maybe even your friends might say, oh, yeah, this heavy C Kane's, blah, 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 oh, yeah, it's trying a bit too hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
when it busts, you're gonna want some peas. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone, like...
Because that's what I was saying. So basically what I was saying to him was like, I'll just do it. And I was giving them the reasons why not to do it. But then I went home and I was like, I'm telling this guy to do something, and I ain't even doing that myself. So I was like, yeah, I'm getting this camera, I'm starting. And I just started. And that's why even when, funnily enough, I look at almost everything as a barrier. If I'm not doing something, and I feel like there's a reason for me not doing something, that I just like, that's a barrier that doesn't need to be there. So when I first started, I was gonna do all this like color grading, these LUTs, the editing, and I was like, but that's all barriers stopping me from just uploading videos. So what did I do? I just started uploading videos.
Yeah,
I've done them without real thumbnails and all this, and it's like, yes, it can be better if I had all that, but
it's not essential.
It's not essential.
It's not
essential because now I've got like 4 or 5 videos that I can post. I've maybe put up 2 or 3 maybe at this point. I got like 5 videos that I can post versus, you need to take that.
It's alright.
Versus if I was waiting to edit and all this, I'd have probably not like posted nothing till now, because I'd be trying to perfect it and just trying to like just building up in my head all these barriers as to why I shouldn't post, rather why you should. And I think even with like content creation, whatever it is that you're trying to do, once you start thinking about reasons to make it even better, in my opinion. I think you should just throw them to the side and just do it.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just going to hold yourself back. So yeah, the fact that you just went ahead and started with the content creation, I found that very cool, because I seen one of your videos and you were like, yeah, you know, there's bare peas on social media, and I ain't even seen none. Why am I not seeing none?
It's so real, bro. Like what you said earlier, you see people and you're like, yo, how are they doing this?
How are they doing
Like,
it?
I know I can be better. I know, like, not even in an ego sense, but you just have a feeling, bro. And even what you said as well, I always think the same. Like the best music artist in the world is probably just in their room playing music for the love of it. Don't need nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Again, footballers, probably some crazy ballers in Brazil, just mad, but they got no access. Maybe they're in poverty. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so they can't showcase their talent to the world. Like,
You can, and you're sitting there fine.
yeah, exactly. And I'm just sitting there on YouTube watching videos of other people, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Some bullshit. 20 man, one guy watching, picking 20 girls, shit like that. Dumb shit, bro. Like, oh yeah, she's nice. Like, half an hour of my life gone, bro. Fucking bullshit.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Yeah, man. The internet is full of potential, bro. Like, there's too many people making money from e-commerce, from videos, you know what I'm saying? Just from putting yourself out there. If you're consistently put yourself out there enough, gradually improve. Like, even yourself, bro, from these videos, in a year's time, you'll watch these back and be like, oh, man, I could have done this so much better, or I could have smoked so much better, and
Done all this.
But equally, if you didn't go through this point of where you are now, you wouldn't have got to that point.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so you kind of learn and you go, and as you watch back and reflect, you'll be like, oh, okay, next time I can do that better, I can do that better, I can do that better. Oh, okay, maybe I can try that angle. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, maybe I can try this grade now. Oh, I see that guy doing that thumbnail. That actually worked. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, all these things will start to, like, calculate in your head. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's better to start and just gradually get better than just be paralyzed in your own mind of like, oh man, should I do this? And like you said, like, that is how you get envious of other people, because you're kind of scared to start yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think as well, if I stuck with my plan of all edit and doing all this shit, it's like I'd have probably done it for the first one and then been like, damn, that was hard work. Like, do I really want to be doing this every single day?
Like 3 hours a day.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, why not just start it? All right, yeah, it's crap, but at least you've done it. And then you can maybe, the next one you add captions, or the next one you do a little bit of color grading, or the next one you actually put a little bit of effort into a thumbnail or a banner, or just gradually building it, which I think, again, even down to my diet, down to, I think, almost anything, that consistency aspect of things is, like, everybody knows you need to be consistent, but like nobody will really, like, it's easier to be inconsistent than it is. It's easier to be consistently inconsistent than it is to just be consistent.
100%.
And being consistently inconsistent, probably, it's like that's two inconsistent and consistent, rather just being consistent in the first place. And that goes, like I think that goes with everything, down to when I used to cut weight. The way I used to cut weight was very inconsistent in comparison to a new way that I'm looking at of cutting weight that I tried, and I cut down from 72 to 67 in the space of like 4 or 5 days, and I felt and looked phenomenal, like completely phenomenal. It's the way that I'm just going to cut weight going forward now as well, and I was so sharp, clear mind. Whereas usually when I'd cut weight and I almost told myself, like, it's just the way weight cutting is, like, I just felt drained and like fucked, and like I didn't feel good really. However, because I was still able to perform after that at a good level, I was just sort of like, it's fine.
Yeah,
Whereas
deal with it.
Now when I did it in a different way, which I knew that I should have been doing, but it took me a while to get to that point to try it, and I've done it. And the way I feel there, I'm just like, I'm unstoppable now, do you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely feel like now unstoppable. And my, I don't know if he's going to watch this, but my coach, I know he's stressing, where am I? Get back here, next thing, but I'm so glad that I'm still out here, and I'm so glad that I'm learning from people that do it. And I've, like I'm learning, because I think you need to learn the discipline and the consistency, and I'm learning it because once I go back, I already know, all right, cool, I'm just going to make a schedule, I'm going to make a plan, this is exactly what I'm going to do, which I probably wouldn't have done if I was still in that chaos of the UK.
Yeah, because that's all you know. But now now you've found something else. It's like, bro, there's more. Yeah, there's multiple ways to do everything, bro. But you only know beyond the four walls you're in, you know?
Exactly. Like, and even that, when you've got the same, even like you said with your dad, like, it's not as if my coaches didn't know this. Saying it to me. But it's them ones when you're like around people that much all the time, and it's like they're just saying the same thing. Eventually you're just like, just leave me alone, this is how I do it, and that's it. Like, you almost become more stubborn in yourself of, this is just how I do it, leave me alone.
Fact.
Do you know what I mean? Versus, like, again, going away, figuring it out yourself and trying it, and giving yourself that space and time to try and do it, and then realising it yourself, and then realising like this is actually much easier, and I feel great, look great, and I'm great. Like, yeah, it's like genuinely, you can go back and look at some of my sparring footage actually. I didn't even put a lot in, but that's where I think I was exactly like 67 kilo, and yeah, I just everything was just flowing, and I was like, damn. Because I know when I'm lighter and leaner, I am much better. However, obviously there's ways to go about it, and generally just because I was talking, I completely forgot what I was about to say, but I'm going to go and say something else, which is, now we've obviously covered quite a lot: consistency, spirituality, veganism, reading books. Oh, I got a big question. The only reason I'm even asking is because I've had like 4 or 5 videos sent in there. What's your perspective, let's say, on like consciousness, but more specifically like black consciousness? Because I'd say that's a completely different thing to, like, I think black consciousness, and like you could argue that white people have their own one where it's white consciousness, and Chinese have where it's Chinese consciousness or whatever. But black consciousness, like, what's your perspective on that? And also in terms of even Dr. Umar, and because like literally I've seen like 3 or 4 videos of him today, and I was busting up. I was like, the guy stays consistent.
Yeah, but bro, he's himself, bro. He's himself, bro. He's himself. What was I gonna say? Wait, before I add on that, yeah. What comes to our mind, bro, was talking about sparring, fam, bro. This guy, that's how. I'm pretty sure the first time I see this guy was in a sparring session, and first time I went to Soma, I sparred this guy, yeah, and he fucked me up, bro. No, not you, someone else. But it's gonna get onto it. This other guy fucked me up, some Russian guy. And then I think you come to a sparring session and you were sparring and you sparred against him and you peppered man up, bro. You peppered man up, bro. I was like, yo, this guy is sick. This guy, bro, I was just moving so effortlessly, bro. So from that, I was like, yo, this guy's wavy, bro. After the session, man just got his bag and just went, fam. Didn't say nothing to anyone, bro. Just left, bro.
Do you know what's funny? Let me stop pausing there. That's genuinely because, and I was talking about this before, especially now, I'd say I speak to people a lot more, but see that example of you saying, I went there, I did what I was, and I left. I didn't speak to a soul.
Bro.
I didn't, because I just don't, like, before anyway, that just wasn't who I was at all. Like, I would almost even be too scared to speak to people, or like overthinking it and all that.
100%.
And I'd say more recently, especially, and I've spoken about this elsewhere, but more recently, especially, like, I just decided to change that with help, and it's definitely bearing fruits big time. But the fact that you've even said that without me saying that, I just took my bag and left.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
That's genuinely the way I was. I was just like, yep, cool, I'm finished here, cool, all right. People are looking at me, or are they not? I don't know. Anyway, let's just get out of here quickly as
man
possible.
Just cut, bro. Man probably said like, yeah, safe. Like, that's it, bro. And I was just like, yo, this guy just fucked up everyone, fam. What a joke, bro. Yeah, that was mad, fam. No ego, fam. Man just cut, bro. It's like nothing happened, fam. After he just peppered man up. Yeah, bro.
Well, I'm glad that to hear that actually that someone was going hard on you, and I managed to get one up on.
Yeah, bro, that was beautiful, man. I knew after that I did not want it, fam. I did not want to have you in that ring, fam. That would have been dark, bro. But what, black consciousness, fucking hell. I don't know, you must be tapped into that to have the powers there in the ring, fam. Dr. Umar, all these, man. I don't know. I feel like everything stems from, obviously, we say that the first people on Earth were from Africa. So I feel like everything stems from, like, African spirituality, you know? Like, black consciousness. I think everything is a... What's the word?
Amalgamation of...
Yeah, of that, you know? Like, I feel like even when people go to do things like iboga and ayahuasca and all of these things, like the plant medicines, I feel like all stems from that kind of place, you know? And then everything is just something of that taken to somewhere else. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Like people have extrapolated it
yes,
to fit and to fit them so that they have something they can relate to almost.
100%. And then it's just like packaged differently, you know? Like for Chinese, or is it Chinese or Japanese? In the Asian culture, I'll say, because I'm not quite sure. I don't want to be wrong. Like Zen, like all of that stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? It all roots to the same thing, but it's just like comes from a different origin, like, or a different lineage. Yeah, I wouldn't say... I said that's my take. I don't really have a mad perspective on that. What about you?
Well, no, I'm just more curious, and that's why I brought up Dr. Umar, was just in terms of even his perspectives of black community is like, just got to be just for the black community, and that's everything, like spending black, wearing black, walking black, talking black, being black, like, and that's the...
So in that sense, I feel like that 100%, I feel like black people are, it's so strange, like, we love each other and hate each other. Do you know what I'm saying? We're very picky. We'll be the first people to tear each other down, first people to pick each other back up at times. So I do definitely feel like where you can, and there's certain groups of people in the world which do only pour back into their own community. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think like...
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we should do that to a certain extent. Like, if you can do it, you should. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not gonna hurt you, like, yeah, go to, like, if you're a Caribbean and there's a Caribbean shop owned by a Caribbean man down there, or there's a Indian man or a white guy that lives down there, and you're Jamaican, you should want to pour back into your heritage, because that's gonna go all the way back to Jamaica eventually, or that's where the things are coming from. So it's helping to build back there. Do you know what I'm saying? Things like that are beautiful, and probably they'll be the ones getting the least support. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like, yeah, definitely it's like pouring back into yourself. Like, it's a mirror again.
Yeah, a mirror. Like, so yeah, that's very true actually. And then yeah, so with Dr. Umar, obviously the videos this guy was on live and he was talking to a few people on the live. One of them was just showing our friends, and one of them was white, and he goes, "You just brought a snow bunny on my live."
Yeah, bro.
My fans are shocked. There's a snow bunny on my live and all this. So what's your perspectives on that? you think it's a snow bunny crisis?
Yo. I feel like my perspective on things like that, it depends where you are. Do you know what I'm saying? I think if you grew up in, and again, it's not wrong or right, but if you grew up in Africa, then you're more likely to be with a black woman, because that's what the majority is, right? Whether you're white or black, like, majority of people in Africa are black, so you're going to probably end up with a black person. Whereas I grew up in, like, England, bro, it's more than well, I didn't end up with a white woman, but my mum is white. Like, it was more than likely that I would have ended up with a white woman. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think there is nothing wrong with that, because that is the, like, thing you're around the most. So when you're seeing that every day, you think, oh, like, that makes sense for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
especially if there's not even a thought in your mind, like, you don't know who Dr. Umar is, or there's not a thought in your mind of anything else. Like, there's not really, and why should there be if, like, that's all you've ever known and sort of seen. Like, even when I was growing up as well, like, and my school was just like obviously like it was called White. It was so the school I went to was called White Hill, and it was just full of like white people. And actually, I think that benefited me with a lot of perspectives. Actually, just being in an environment where it was like literally 99.999% white people, because it made me look and see things in a different way. And I'll explain that in a second. But if that's all you see and that's all you sort of know, it's like, for what why are you, like, what reason would you really have to look outside of that?
Of course.
So like, there's my thing of when I see like black people with white women or women of other races, I just think to myself, like, I know that certain people would look at them and call them coons and traitors and all this, and I just think to myself, I'm like, but you don't even know this person's like story,
Yeah,
or
the life,
nothing.
the story. Do you know what I'm saying?
And
Like even their heritage, like what their auntie could be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like what
Nothing.
you've grown around.
Nothing.
So there's so many different like things. Like there's too many hidden factors.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm
literally,
saying?
I think so. I found that
too
mad
many-
when I got exposed to that first. But obviously, when I first got exposed to all that, I think obviously it makes you think, because you're like, damn, am I really, like, what am I doing type thing? Like, you're obviously thinking about it and that. But as maybe your perspective shifts again and you start looking at it more, and you just start realising, well, like, is there really a problem with it? I guess there's only a problem with it if you think there's a problem with it.
Yeah.
But if you don't think there's a problem with it, whether you think there's a problem with it or not, it's happening.
I don't think there's personally a problem with it. I think there's certain understandings and perspectives that you need to have. For example, like my mum is white, do you know what I'm saying? And I know my mum will never understand certain things that I have to deal with as a black person, because that's the way the world sees me. Do you know what I'm saying? Just my father is black, but my mum is white. But if I walk past a normal white person in the street, you're black. You're not mixed race, you're black. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like when you're picking to be with someone potentially from another race, it will come with like different things, and they might not be able to understand certain things, but as long as that's okay and they'll stick with you regardless, do you know what I'm saying, and support you through that. That's the most important thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Love is love, bro. Like, yeah, I think it's a bit deeper than the color of your skin. But also, I feel like there's nothing wrong with if you do just want to be in your own race. If you just want to date black women, if you just want to date white women, like, I think it's it's whatever you grew up around. And if you manage to leave the place that you are, like, I'm sure, bro, bare people watching this, man or woman, could go to like Thailand or come to Bali and find a beautiful woman. There's beautiful women everywhere on this planet, bro. I promise you, you go anywhere, you'll find a beautiful woman. You go to Switzerland, you'll find a beautiful white woman. You go to Africa, you find a beautiful black woman. You go to Ethiopia, you find a beautiful black woman. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different things everywhere. It's just totally based on your situation. And if you say, maybe you wake up one day and just be like, no, I do just want to be with a black woman, bro, go for it. Do you know what I'm saying? If you want to keep it in the genes, then, bro, that's totally fine. Do you know what I'm saying? If you don't, equally, I understand that.
Yeah, I think the part of just sort of letting people, like, I guess you could argue, oh, you can't just let people just be and do what they want all the time, especially if it's going to have a negative effect on it. But realistically, it's probably not even going to have a negative effect unless, like, if you're sat there, you're trying to build with black people and you're focused on the people that don't want to build with you. It's like what's the essence of that? You're not going to go anywhere doing that. You may as well just focus on the people that are sort of on that same mission and just keep moving forward with that.
100%.
And then perspective-wise, like, you see in the area that you grew up, what was like school like?
In my primary school, I think there was literally like probably like 2 or 3 black people.
Yeah. And
Secondary school, probably, maybe like 10 of us in the whole
Yeah.
school. So predominantly white, predominantly
So
white.
when you were growing up, in terms of, because I've got a certain perspective that I sort of realised, when you were growing up, what would you say? What would you say life was like, just going through school as like one of very few black people, even maybe culture-wise, or how you are interacting with others, etc.
I would say it was interesting. It felt almost like I fit in, but I don't fit in. Especially being like mixed race, in the sense of, I can go chill with the black people, I can go chill with the white people, but I feel like I'm in between. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Let me ask you, do you think, because this is something that I say all the time, because again, grew up around literally just white people. Obviously on weekends when we went to mosque and things, I would grow up around Pakistani people, Arabs, North Africans, like just people from all over. And then, but majority of the time I'd be exposed to just white people. And what I realised was that I was too black for the white people, and I was too white for the black people.
Yeah.
So relative.
100%, bro.
You
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. 100% fully. Like, and it wasn't necessarily something that they said. It was just a feeling.
Oh, no,
Do you know what I'm saying?
I had someone say to me like, he turned around to me and I actually love the fact that he said it because it made me think as well. He's like, he said it and he was like, oh, how come you're always around better white people or something? Like he sort of said it, and me being me, I was like, what was it? What did you just say? And he couldn't repeat it. I was like, no, well, what did you say? And he couldn't repeat it, and I was like, but I obviously still thought about it because I was like, oh, interesting that he thinks that I'm like just around white people, whereas I'd say I'm not even really around white people in comparison to the amount of white people I could be around.
Yeah.
But that made me that when he said that, I was like, damn, maybe I am. I'm just too white for the blacks. I'm too black for the whites. And yeah, growing up, I'd say I was very like just on my own and able to just sort of observe because, like you even said, you couldn't really fit in. And then yeah, saying that like for you, you said nobody'd ever actually said that to you. So what made you come to that sort of realization?
When you come to that realization,
I think it's very real. I genuinely,
because I feel like some of the black people would only be around black people or mostly around black people, where I would choose to be around both. Do you know what I'm saying? You get different things from different people, but then I feel like maybe definitely more so with the white people, they can make like off-key jokes or little da-da-da. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, bro, like, how should I feel about that? Do you know what I'm saying?
So how
like,
do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that? Obviously it's not right, do you know what I'm saying? But I feel like some people say things and they don't actually understand the weight behind it, or sometimes there's even no malice behind it.
That's what I'm saying. Is there weight behind it though? Because can there be weight behind it if they're not putting weight behind it?
No, I think some people are just unconscious, bro, and again, you can't explain certain things to certain people because you haven't faced it. You haven't, like, I can literally go in I can go in a shop in a suit and the security guard will still mad watch me, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas, other people, they won't even bat an eyelid, bro, for certain things.
I get
certain things like that, it's just like, and there's so many different aspects of that, like you won't even know. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like the world is just, you're treated differently depending on how you look. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, even they might not. It's programming, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I will say. I think it's programming. Certain things are programmed into people, and they're not even aware of like what they're actually meaning by it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just the way that, oh yeah, I've seen a black person on TV and they act like this. Da, 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 da. It's like when like a white guy can grow up in London and speak a certain way. Oh, why are you speaking black? Why are you speaking black? But that's just why he's around all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
so there's two things. So with that, what I was getting at as well was like, if you been in situations where like you've been around like your white friends or whatever, and they've said things that like you would maybe look at as out of line, and you know that if they were around certain other people, it would probably there'd be some sort of consequence to it.
Yeah, 100%. And they wouldn't say it, bro.
You think they wouldn't say it?
Yeah, 100%. Because they know they get mashed up, bro.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
My thing is when, and I don't know about you, but for me, usually if I'm around like white people or white people that I know, white people that I even consider my friends, and they say certain things, I would let certain ones away with certain things more than others.
100%.
And the ones that I would let away with it more are the ones that I know I'm like, well, at the end of the day, like you've said what you've said, whatever. However, I know that you would also say this in front of X, Y, Z. However, if it's someone that feels too comfortable saying certain things because they know there's going to be no consequence, but they wouldn't say that in front of other people. I think for me, that's when there's maybe a little bit more of a problem there.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, well, you're saying this here now, but would you say this if this situation was like this and this situation was like this? Like, is that something you would say to me or in front of me or around me if my mother was here or your mother was here? So them ones there, that's where I'm like, right, hold on a minute. And I funnily enough, I tested it with some people, and like his girl was around, and this was back in Bali. His girl was around. I was, oh, do you know he's like this? And I know and I can tell that he's genuinely just himself. And for me, I think it's more important that someone's themselves.
100%.
Even if someone can turn around and say, oh, you're racist and that. Well, I'd rather them be racist and be true and honest.
Yeah, and you know, do you know what I'm saying? It's not hidden.
Like, I genuinely would say that I don't have an issue with a lot of things as long as you're not the type of person to, again, say it in front of in certain situations, but not say it in others.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have, and it's like them ones where, even with my friends, I'm like, all right, listen, you can say it and do what you want, have your opinions, whatever. But if you say something out of line in front of someone and they beat your ass, don't look at me.
Yeah, bro.
Like, you're on your own.
You know made your own 100%, bro.
You laid your own bed. And then when you were talking about perspectives there, growing up in that white school, let's just call it white school, because my perspective, and the reason I'm going to talk about it is because when I speak to other white people, and they obviously hit you with this statistics and statistics and numbers and black people are this way and black people are that way and this way. And I think I maybe would have believed that if I didn't grow up in the school that I grew up in. And the reason being, it was obviously just full of white people. And all those things in the area in Glasgow that I grew up in as well, like just white people, all those things that they would attribute to black people, usually it's in America, I seen that firsthand from only white people. The black people I knew, their mother would kill them if they
it was doing certain shit.
If they had a thought in their head of doing
certain
10% of what them white kids were doing in school, they'd be dead on the spot if they even had that thought passed through their mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's different.
To me, I was just always like, I was like, well, nah, and I can see why your perspective's like that, because maybe that's all you're exposed to and see, and you don't really see it any other way, and that's fine and fair. However, here's why that's not true, or here's why this and that. And would you say you have the same sort of experience in terms of people? Like, would you say that your perspective of things based on you being growing up around white people is more broad versus if you think you were around maybe, because you said like there was mainly white people, maybe a couple black people. Do you think if there was more black people around that your perspective on things would be very different?
Yeah, I think I'd be more ignorant. Do you know what I'm saying? I think I understand programming and I understand the way, like, it's your heart's intention. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I went out yesterday, when I was at a club at the end of the night, one guy walked up to me and was like, "Oh, Bob Marley, duh." And then he like put his hand up to shake my hand. I'm like, nah, like it's a laugh and joke, but it's at the end of the night. I'm like, bro, like you don't know me. Do you know what I'm saying? To be saying Bob Marley, you see a mixed race guy with dreads and you're just calling out references. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not cool. So I'm not gonna shake your hand, but I'm like, have a nice night. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, literally though, like genuinely, have a nice night. Like, I'm not in the mood right now. I'm not in the mood for your jokes, and it's not funny. I don't know you to be joking around with you. Like, I'm not gonna take it offensively and try to fight you in the club. Do you know what I'm saying? By me not shaking your hand, I'm not saying yes on site, but I'm also saying like certain things you don't say to people you don't know. You don't know me, bro.
Yep.
I could be fucking tapped, bro, and just mash you up. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I don't get. That's generally what I don't get, because and I'd say, and I think it's the same again because I grew up around white people. It's the same for black and white. Like, some people genuinely, I think it's affecting to the point where they go mad, and I'm just like, well, who actually cares?
But yeah, it's not worth it, bro.
Worth it.
It's
and
not
then
worth
when
it.
it's like certain things where it's like you should be maybe gearing up to go towards, like,
more militant.
Not even,
it's not the same.
Do you know what I mean?
Like,
but
bro.
Yeah, I find that to happen a lot. Where even when I was in Thailand, I got stopped by this couple, and he was like, "Oh, can you take a picture with my wife?" And I just found it so weird. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And his wife stood up next to me, and he was just bare taking pictures, and all smiling. And I was like, yeah, brilliant. And it's like, whether, like, maybe, like, who knows? Maybe I'm in some Chinese museum somewhere. They might have not even been Chinese, so that could be completely racist. But some Chinese museum somewhere, like, being mocked or something. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even fucking matter. Like,
Bro,
you know what I mean?
it's not
It
that
doesn't
deep,
matter.
bro.
And the chances are there was probably no malicious intent about it. They probably just seen me and just thought I looked cool, and it was like, oh well, like shit, I'm sure there's not that many black people in China.
There you go, bro.
So they are just like, fuck it, let's get
bro,
a picture.
Similar thing when I went to Korea, bro. Like, I'll walk past someone and be like, whoa.
Really?
Yeah, bro. And it's obviously just because I'm a black guy with dreads, bro. So like, bro, I rarely see that. Like, maybe on TV or YouTube or something, but I don't see it live in the flesh. So it's like, I don't take that as like offensive. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, cool. That's your perspective. But whereas the guy in the club yesterday, like that was different. I feel like you must have seen bare black people. And even after he see me again, he was like, oh, sorry about that, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So then he actually had an understanding where it's like, okay, that was wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? And I prefer that because you've learned something.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? So for the next person, if you want to greet someone, you don't not to greet them like that. And then you'll get some love. Do you know what I'm saying?
And the mad thing is, imagine you then go, oh yeah, brilliant. And he goes up to the next
exactly,
man,
then
and
he
his
thinks it's
mouth gets
okay.
bust up. And then he's thinking, well, I've said that before. And it's like, well, shit, okay.
Bro, literally though.
Like people will get that comfortable where they just start saying things to random people and end up in some mad situation. So yeah, I think exactly what you did was the right thing to do, because yeah, like there's bare situations like that where people will just say something and you just think to yourself, did I really just hear that?
Bro, exactly. It's just creating boundaries, man. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't have to put over a lot of shit, and you don't have to be mad, like malicious, or you don't have to like you don't necessarily have to beat someone up to show them something.
Not.
Do you know what I'm saying? You can teach someone something from a simple conversation. It can be very calm and collected. Do you know what I'm saying? Just allow someone to think for themselves. You know what I'm saying? You can say something to someone, like you said, someone said something to you before, and you just stuck with you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally, like, I just thought about it, and I was like, damn, that's right. And that's from there, I was like, damn, like, I actually, like, and I wasn't like, I didn't look at it and be like, oh, this guy, what's he talking about and all that. It's like, well, I am around white people a lot, because that's what I grew up around.
Yeah, bro, that's it. Yeah,
like, shit, am I meant to, like, if I'm taking videos on Snapchat or that, am I meant to go, all right, everybody put their black faces on.
Yeah, and like, oh, am I supposed to have no friends because everyone's white? Like, no,
like,
of course not, bro. Like, they're all
ones.
people, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And when you're growing up around the same environment, like, you have a lot of similarities, bro. Like, skin color is kind of disregarded in that sense. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of black people might have had the same upbringing from their parents, you know what I'm saying? Pretty strict, you can't do certain things, you know you're going to get your ass kicked if you do certain things. Do you know what I'm saying? So that creates a different kind of bond with certain people, you know? But, like, whereas you can go to your white friends and they might, like, you might hear some madness of them talking back to their mom in a certain way. Like,
and you're just
fucking
like,
hell. But at the same time, that's beautiful. It's like, yo, how do you get away with that? But then I also understand why you're like that outside.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's yin and yang, bro.
I think
do you know, nothing is necessarily right or wrong. It just like what we said, it just is. Do you know what I'm saying? So you stick with that and go with it. And then from these things, you just like learn and I guess curate your own thing. Like, how would you want to be when you have children? You can maybe take aspects from both. Maybe I don't want to mash up my kid all the time if they're getting rude. Do you know what I'm saying? But equally, I don't want my kid to be a little shit. So every now and then, I might have to just give them a little two slap. Do you know what I'm saying?
So
like,
I like genuinely like especially with sons, I think like. Because you know it yourself, like you weren't even really listening to your own dad. Even like I could say the same, like I wasn't listening to my parents with a lot of things, and it's like unless there was that consequence, and if I just got away with it, then like even now my mum still says that I don't listen to anyone and all that, like because in the past I haven't. But she still says it, and it's like, yeah, it's probably true, but the fact that she constantly made sure that I would listen to. Like she would almost force me to listen. It's made me actually slow down and listen, and then make my decision based off of actually listening rather than just making my decision just because I want to, which is a good thing. But at the
you have your own perspective.
Exactly, you have your own perspective. Yeah. Whereas if she just let me away with it, then I would be on a mad one. Like I think I'd be maybe not to be fair, but I could probably see myself being that guy that's like, you say one thing out of them, bop.
Yeah.
Shut.
Yeah, but
shut
I feel like a
bop.
lot, like probably our older generation, like our parents and other stuff, like it was a different time back then. Do you know what I'm saying? With like
100.
racism, you could get away with a lot more, and it was almost right to be racist. Do you know what I'm saying? So they had to do a lot more fighting. Nowadays, like, bro, you can't. For the world will murder you online, and these other things you say something wrong about a black person. If a white person says nigga, everyone's on you. If you say something about a gay person, everyone's on you. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, it's one of them things now where it's like, you just have to let people be.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? No matter what they are, no matter who they are, you just have to let them be. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%. And now the question I'd say, because the first one was about perspective in terms of like black consciousness and then just upbringing. Just to sort of wrap it up, I'll probably maybe end with this question most times. So, would you say that life has a purpose, or that people have purposes, and would you say it's a singular purpose?
Good question. Do I think life has a purpose, and do I think it's a singular purpose? I think... I think it's a mixture though. I feel like we almost create our own purpose. I think we definitely were born here to do something. Do you know what I'm saying? That something could be as simple as to teach someone a certain lesson, whether it could be from a relationship, whether it can be from our parents, whether it can be from mashing someone up, whether... Do you know what I'm saying? There's so many... I don't think there's necessarily one thing, but I think after... We also create our own purpose. Do you know what I'm saying? We convince ourselves of a lot of shit. Do you know what I'm saying? If you think you're a bad person, then you're going to kind of make a pit for yourself. Then maybe that is your purpose, to experience hell, maybe. But then for your next life, you've maybe served your past life karma. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like I'm going everywhere. My answer, I will go with, I think you create your own purpose.
And you think it's singular?
No.
No. So you think...
No, yeah, I think there's multiple. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
That's sick. That's sick.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I touched on this as well before, which was like, I think that you can have purposes and you should have loads of purposes. Otherwise, like, because you can't. It's not as if you can't fulfill a purpose. And I'd say the last thing you want is to have a purpose, thinking you only have one purpose, fulfill that purpose, and that's it. Then what? Is it time to die now or something? Do you know what I mean? Like, and you could argue that a lot of people with a big, massive purpose end up actually dying after their purpose is fulfilled.
It has maybe even more of an impact.
Yeah. However, I do think you have a purpose, get to that purpose, and make sure that there's another one there. Another one will open up to you. And it's probably just down to yourself to find that. And saying that, we're out here in Bali right now, and obviously I'm here just due to travelling, and I think through travelling, getting the different perspectives, which I'm sure is something that people say all the time, but getting different perspectives opens you up to even trying to figure out your own purpose.
100%.
And I think that's something that people should strive for. And it's funny because I remember my brother said to me, he goes, it was the most random thing ever, because he travelled around Europe, all this.
Older or younger?
Older. He travelled around Europe, and then he was telling me stories afterwards, like he was literally travelling with like a sock and a toothbrush. Like, now he broke. Like, I think he had enough money just to get enough food for the night and then get a ticket back home or some madness anyway. But it was some madness anyway, the story. I'd need to ask him, but he randomly just, I can't even remember what we were talking about, but he literally just turned around to me, you should travel. And obviously I was like, travel for what? What are you talking about? I was literally just like, bruv, shut up. You're just saying random things too much all the time. Shut up. And then as soon as I travelled, bro,
different.
I was just like,
different person, bro.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Completely different person.
Bro. The world is so big, bro, and like being in England, that's just one way of thinking. Do you know
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
just one person. That's one of your
bro,
characters. That's one of your purposes.
100%.
Almost.
You come to Bali, bro. All the locals are so nice, bro. Like they're so welcoming, so loving. It's like when you've then had that perspective, it's like, what the fuck? So why is everyone in England so moody and grumpy? Do you know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's because you're moody and grumpy.
Yeah, is it that? Is it the city? Is it the lifestyle? Like, what is it? Because when you come here, the lifestyle is a lot more relaxed. Do you know what I'm saying? So is that what's making them happy? Like, there's so many different things. You go to another country, totally different.
Totally different.
Do you know what I'm saying? You go somewhere else, totally different again. Like, so it's like, what is it? Or maybe it's just me. So how can I be the best of all of them? You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
can you take parts of all these people's perspectives and apply it to yourself to then even make change in your own life? And like, because I generally, when I go back now, I can already say to myself, oh, I already know when I get back, coach is going to be on to me about this, and people are going to be moody and gloomy and grumpy about this and that. But that's only if I let them be that way.
Exactly.
See if they see someone genuinely, and I think what I'm going to do is anytime someone comes up to me and like tries to be like moody or I'm just gonna try and make them smile or happy or laugh or something, because why not? Like if someone's coming complaining about something and you make them laugh, and they'll probably just forget what they were even complaining about in the first place. Whereas if you feed into it and then you're both just sat there complaining, it's like no one even wins out of that. Now your mood's messed up.
Shit, yeah, bro. Facts.
Now your mood's messed up. But basically, yep, your purpose. And this is it, yeah. You have a purpose, yes, but you have multiple as well.
100%. You find more along the way. Yeah, I think you're born with a purpose, but then, yeah, you find more along the way. Do you know what I'm saying? And as you grow older, it changes. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you have children, your purpose might then to be make them the best version of themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? When your child's older, it's like, okay, now I need to focus on myself, on my health, so I have a longer life. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, now it's time to build a business. Now it's time to help this kind of person. Now it's time to inspire. Do you know what I'm saying? So like,
I agree.
Yeah, different purposes for different times as you grow older.
And I think for people that maybe are like not able to travel or do these things, I think even just speaking to people you'd maybe never thought in a million years you'd speak to, like whether it's a shopkeeper or someone that just anybody and everybody, it doesn't even matter, a homeless person, someone that works in a pharmacy, like anyone, because even at that you could probably get a new perspective through the life they've lived, through
100%.
the travel they've done. If you are in a position just now where you can't afford to travel, speaking to people in even just your area and actually having a conversation with them, which again I think is something that like is probably even underrated, like just have conversations with people. And this is not even just like I'd say something affirmed this for me the other week. I was speaking to a girl and she, which was funny because when she said that, I was like, this is literally what I've been thinking in my head for all this time, and now you've came and said that to me. And then I was like, life really is a mirror, because she turned around and she said, yeah, you know, I just think everybody that comes into your life is just meant to be in your life, and there's a certain lesson or you can learn something from everyone and everything and every experience. I was just sat there like, you're just saying what's in my head, and then literally that affirmed again to me, like you literally are just whatever's on your mind or what like ends up being out there, like
100%, it'll show up.
It'll show up. So yeah, if you're looking to travel, if you're looking to get different perspectives, just get them where you are. Even get them from your own mum.
Yeah.
Sure, some of you haven't spoken to your mum on a deep enough level, or your dad on a deep enough level, or even yourself on a deep enough level to get different perspectives, because it's easy to be in an echo chamber thinking you know it all, and you might know it all because you think you know it all, whatever. However, getting another perspective is either going to completely shatter your belief, and now you're going to realise I was an idiot, or you're going to be like, oh, actually this is true because this works with what I was already assuming and thinking and things. So yeah, definitely just hope this brought you some sort of type of new perspective, and I'd say definitely go and look for more perspectives as much as you can, and you'll be able to probably grow at such a fast rate.
Facts.
Like such a fast rate. I'm not sure if you've got anything that you'd like to say as well, but that's it, I'm done.
2 things: learn from other people's mistakes rather than your own. It's a lot easier said than done, believe me, because I say that and I still want to find out myself if I'm fucking up. And when you're ready to learn, the teacher will appear, man.
Even if you don't like the
Yeah,
teacher.
even if you don't like the when you're ready to learn, like, the teacher will appear. Do you know what I'm saying? So just be ready to learn. Put your best foot out. Pretty much everything we said, man. Try shit. Try shit, fail. Don't be scared to fail. Like, that's how you're gonna grow, man. You're gonna take so many losses before your first success. Like, but that's a good thing, because if you just got it straight away, then you're gonna think, oh, this is easy, and you're gonna feel like fucking Superman. Once you had a couple losses, like, even if it's something as simple as talking to girls, like, talk to every girl that you're attracted to, and yeah, most of them might say no, but then the one that says yes might be the love of your life, or, do you know what I'm saying? That
Even
could put a
chat to
different.
girls you're not attracted to.
Yeah, exactly.
Chat to everyone.
Because again, you're gonna learn stuff. You're gonna learn. Oh, okay, like, women actually like when I'm a bit more softer, or, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different things that you can learn about yourself and just about people in general. Like, it's beautiful, man. But it's equally very easy to go inwards. Do you know what I'm saying? Like how you said you used to be. I feel like it's probably easier to do that than to put yourself out there. Because when you're putting yourself out there, it's like, oh, this person might think this, or this person might think this.
And that goes for women as well. Like, if
Facts.
put yourself out there, because
Facts.
even if someone was to go ahead and call you the worst name on the planet or whatever, it's like, who actually?
Bro,
like,
you're gonna go to sleep and probably forget about it. Or maybe for a couple of days you might think, oh, that person called me a dickhead.
Maybe I'm a dickhead.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Moving
Like,
on.
but yo, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Yeah, man.
That's sick. So yeah, definitely. That main point that you were saying of teachers will appear. Even if you look at someone and you think, nah, they can't teach me nothing, that's the person you want to chat to.
Yeah, trust me.
Like, that's the person you want to go and talk to. If you think they can't teach you nothing about nada, I'd say that's the person you want to speak to, 100%. So yeah, whoever you've not been speaking to or you're putting off speaking to, same goes for me. Go and speak to that person, man, and get a new perspective. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you gained some sort of value from it, some sort of new perspective. And yeah, 2nd edition, people's perspectives, gonna keep this up. Should be doing another one very soon again. So see you then.
Jeez, give thanks. Respect.
Bye bye.